Wow. So let me ask you guys a question out there. Did you originally play Mechwarrior 2 on the PlayStation, or were you a PC enthusiast even back then? You just didn't even know it. This video is sponsored by Vite Ramen. I'd like to give a quick shout out to them. Actually, they play Mechwarrior Online, which I do as well. And it just so happens they reached out and were like, hey, do you like ramen? And I was like, I do. And they're like, well, let's talk. So let's talk about Vite Ramen. I actually sat down with the owner and operator, one of the brothers, Tim, and he told me about how they got started. Obviously, they grew up eating ramen and they wanted to make it a little bit more nutritious. They were in college, lifting weights. They're like, there's got to be a better way. So this is a 500 calorie, 31 gram bowl of ramen that has nutrients and vitamins, everything you need. And for me, that lines up with my schedule. I work out, I also game for long periods of time, and I want to make sure whatever I'm stuffing down my face, that, well, it's good for me. And well, this has been a perfect fit. But this is what's really cool about this product. It has everything I need, and especially in a busy lifestyle. As I mentioned before, I'm streaming, I'm working out, and to be able to get a lunch that has all the calories and nutrients and vitamins I need, this has it. You guys also get some bundles as well, and you can save 10% off. That also supports me if you use NGNG at checkout. If you'd like more information about Vite Ramen, a link will be down in the description below. That's all right. I'm eating ramen with a fork. Does that bother you? It's okay. You can eat it with whatever you want. It's a free country. Hey, what's going on, guys? Phil here. Welcome back to some Mechwarrior 5 news. As of September 8th, 2021, we have official word that Mechwarrior is coming back to the PlayStation. This is obviously pretty big news, considering a lot of you guys out there may have started your Mechwarrior Battletech sort of love affair with this Mechwarrior 2 on PlayStation. So it's coming back, and this is actually pretty big news in that regard. Obviously, Mechwarrior 5 just launched on the Xbox on May 28th of 2021, and we do know sales were probably not as high as they expected, considering out of the 160,000 copies sold as far as the first month coming into Steam, at least 129,000 we're on Steam now. Of course, that leaves around 30 some odd thousand between the Epic Games Store, Microsoft Game Pass, and Xbox as well, unless they share. So that's something that we don't know, but at least we know that that's the first month of sales, and that is actually from the EG7 report, financial report. Now, that only attests for the first month. We don't have any information for July, and of course August, and as we're here in September. So you can assume that probably the biggest month for sales was the initial and then afterwards. And again, just to sort of correlate, I don't know how much Game Pass and Xbox sales, if they're the same thing or not, but it would leave around 30,000 copies sold on EGS slash Xbox-ish, but we just don't know. So anyways, just want to make that clear, but this has the potential, because of how big this platform is, to reach a whole lot more set of gamers. And considering how big this platform is, let's go ahead and just sort of talk about the article here, this blog post, playstation.blog. We see our Darren Katz, Senior Community Manager, Piranha Games, making an appearance. Hello, Darren. How you doing? Greeting Mercs. This is Darren Katz, Senior Community Manager for Mechwarrior 5 Mercenaries. He, of course, holds CM for both MWO and Mechwarrior 5, it seems. I've been a huge fan of the Battletech franchise and Mechwarrior games since 1984 Battledroid's tabletop game. Despite the wealth of board game, novels, and Mechwarrior games that bring the world of Battletech to life, PlayStation fans haven't had a proper Mechwarrior experience since the time-tested classic of Mechwarrior 2 31st Century Combat, released for the original PlayStation in 1995. As I mentioned before, again, that holds true to a lot of people. Not myself. I actually played it on PC first. I know, I'm such a hipster, or millennial. That would probably be Darren's call. All that changes today. He feels honored to be able to formally announce that both Mechwarrior 5 Mercenaries and the Heroes of the DLC will be headed to PS4, PS5 on September 23rd. Let's just take a note. It is 8th as this recording. That is not a big, Time lap. That's like 2 weeks, guys. Holy crap. Okay, in terms of the differences, the PlayStation 5 version supports adaptive triggers and advanced haptics with a DualSense controller. This will also be the first time Mechwarrior will be on a PlayStation console in over 20 years. You just said that. We know. He's getting old. You have to forgive him. All right. For strangers to the world of Mechwarrior, here's a TLDR. The year is 3015 and humanity has colonized thousands of systems across space. Battlefields of the future are dominated by mech warriors. That's you, elite mercenaries for hire who pilot gigantic engines of war known as battle mechs. I mean, not everybody is a mercenary, but see where you're going. As the leaders of the growing mercenary company, it'll be up to you to take on the assignments from various factions across the universe and expand your team of mech warriors and battle mechs over the course of the game. I see what you did. You're coming in from the Mechwarrior 5 mercenaries angle. All right, I thought this was a TLDR. Whether you're more of a solo player and want to focus on building up your mercenary squad of AI-controlled Mechwarrior mercenaries in the single-player PvE campaign, or looking for more team-focused instant action with 4-player co-op, there's a lot to enjoy and discover as you level cities and lay waste to rivals on your own with friends. To clarify, at least on the PC, you're able to do the campaign with friends, so just keep that in mind. Nice little picture there. We've got a quick draw and a rifleman. All right. The dev team at Piranha Games is already super excited about how Mechwarrior 5 Mercenaries is shaping up for its PlayStation debut. The base game benefits from over a year's worth of additional development work and comes stacked with tons of gameplay systems and quality of life improvements, many of which are based directly on fan feedback. One of the more noteworthy features PlayStation players can look forward to is the ability for players to switch between any of the AI Lance battle mechs during a mission. What? Is this going to be a feature that we're going to get for the PC? Because that would be great. That sounds a lot like, I don't know, something we talked about for our Mech Commander mod, but I digress. For the initial release, manual control was limited to the player's main battle mech. This seemingly small update makes a huge impact, allowing players to instantly bounce between all their friendly battle mechs with full control over movement and attacks at any time. Extra precision over control of all battle mechs in your squad also allows for more strategic and thoughtful positioning, with full control of weapons and movement in real time, adding a whole new layer to each and every mission in both Mechwarrior 5 Mercenaries and Heroes in the Inner Sphere. Other improvements like extreme weather, visual effects, updates to the user interface, HUD, a new campaign story introduction, and balance changes being an extra layer of polish to the already awesome experience. And of course, we've already seen this, the new story campaign, so much better than the original. I'm so glad that at least got touched up. I know it wasn't a fan of everyone's, but it was so much better than what we first got. Now, with this being said, I need answers. Is this coming to the PC version? It better. That would be awesome. I mean, I don't know about you guys out there, but being able to switch maybe to your light mech, especially running around collecting some of the containers and stuff like that, I'm assuming that that has to come to everything. Of course, we don't know that for certain, and we'll have to wait for official word. Okay, all right, we got a Wolverine here, but that's just the beginning of while both Mechwarrior 5 Mercenaries and Heroes of the Inner Sphere feature campaigns that can be completed on your own. Mechwarrior is best experienced in company of friends, and thanks to our 4-player PvE and co-op crossplay for all supported platforms, there's never been a better time to party up with fellow mercenaries around the world. Plus, with the same day release of Heroes of the Inner Sphere on the PS4 and PS5, Mechwarrior's return to the PlayStation will bring more Mechwarrior action than ever before. Now, for those that didn't catch that, this now means PlayStation is also on there. You can cross-play from PC, Xbox, to now the PlayStation. All of the above, all different platforms on the PC from Steam to EGS. And if you're just buying the game on other platforms like GOG, you can also do that. So pretty awesome. As an added bonus, our team wanted to take a more generous approach when it comes to accessing DLC content, even if you don't own it yourself. That's why we made it possible for players to experience the entirety of the Heroes of the Inner Sphere campaign as long as the host owns the DLC. The more mechs, the merrier. For those that don't know what that necessarily means is, let's just say you have the base game on the PS5 and your buddy on the PC has Heroes in the Inner Sphere. They can host, you can join them and experience that from their side of things. So you don't necessarily have to own it, and that is a nice little feature. Thanks to the huge and worldwide player base with cross-play, DLC sharing, and also a year's worth of development time dedicated to gameplay, AI, balancing, quality of life improvements, both longtime fans like myself and strangers to the Mechwarrior franchise will have a lot to enjoy and discover when Mechwarrior 5 Mercenaries and Heroes of the Inner Sphere DLC head to the PlayStation on September 23rd. Another quick draw. Man. Okay, well, lots to break down here. My initial impressions and thoughts is, holy crap. I mean, honestly, PlayStation has a lot of units out there, and PS4 and PS5 potentially getting a whole lot more eyeballs on the community and bringing them in game. And if you're watching this and if you're one of those people, welcome. Look forward to getting to know you, and welcome to the BattleTech universe. It is amazing. It's got so much depth. But man, my first initial thoughts are that's some big news there. And I was expecting them to announce DLC 2. I was not expecting a PlayStation launch, especially with Microsoft. So that's interesting. I mean, that's very cool in that regard. So yeah, we have that. All right, so again, initial thoughts. Pretty awesome that it's coming to PlayStation. It's going to bring a lot of eyeballs onto the IP that maybe don't have any knowledge of the game or universe, and that's awesome. Also, it's going to tap into potentially an audience that doesn't necessarily play PC games, just like the Xbox, but now on the PlayStation, because I believe the PlayStation potentially has a bigger audience as well. I think that's fantastic. I like the idea of the switching, being able to switch. That's news. I'm assuming that's going to come to all of the platforms it's got to. We'll get confirmation and follow up with that. I mean, pretty much that. I mean, again, cross-play ability on all platforms now, including the PlayStation. Wow. So let me ask you guys a question out there. Did you originally play Mechwarrior 2 on the PlayStation, or were you a PC enthusiast even back then? You just didn't even know it. Let me know down in the comments below. Is this exciting for you? Is this something that you or your family or a loved one would be interested in? You know, I know a lot of individuals out there already in the Mechwarrior community with Mechwarrior Online, you know, bought Mechwarrior 5 on the Xbox just so they could play it with their kids. So I just figured I'd let you know. Now, what wasn't mentioned, and I'll be very, very interesting to like see, is just like with the Xbox, we didn't have any word about mods, and unfortunately, as of right now of this recording, mods are no-go for the Xbox, which in my opinion is a big, you know, letdown. But I also understand that it maybe is a technical nightmare. But that all being said, if you really want to experience some of the amazing mods that are happening with Mech 5, you have to have a PC version. So that wasn't mentioned in here. I'm assuming it's probably a no-go as well. But we'll just have to wait to, you know, hear word from Piranha Games directly on that. They've been sort of quiet when it comes to Xbox and mods. They haven't really officially said it was never going to happen. So I guess there's always that room for it potentially happening. But overall, the ability to switch between your mechs, that's amazing. It'll be interesting to see how that plays and how that changes things, because sometimes in the original campaign with your AI, being able to switch between mechs would have been really, really useful. So it'll be interesting also seeing how modders utilize that. So that is the news for Mechwarrior 5 coming to the PlayStation once again. I hope you enjoyed this video. Click that like and subscribe button if you haven't done so already. We are so close to 20,000 subscribers. Thank you again for tuning in, and I will see you guys on the next video. Until next time.